Good morning, YouTube. Well, happy 4th of July. I know today's only the 2nd, but I just got a comment from one of my people who watch me, and I want to read it, respond to it. Okay, this is from Tammy Sterling. She said, "Can you please do a video on Jimmy? He is so cute. How did you acquire him? Thanks." Oh, that's so sweet. So I'm glad you asked that question because I don't know. I never really talked about Jimmy Dog. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the story about my Jimmy Dog. Okay, so a few years ago, 12 years ago, I was in this drug program, right? I finished the drug program and I was in this place. It was like a halfway between the streets and program. So anyway, I lived in this little Victorian cottage, very nice house, but it was shared by 4 different people, right? And I was starting my life over again because, of course, in the street life, I was a drug dealer. I used to have a lot of people around me all the time. There was always people around. There was always rooms full of us. You know, we were all dope things. But I was leaving that life. And now I was starting life kind of over again because I knew no one who wasn't a drug addict in San Francisco. So I was starting new and I was kind of lonely. Anyway, so I was living in this house in the Castro, and I started noticing people's dogs. Now I was, I think, 46 at the time, something like that. 12 years ago. Anyway. So I started noticing people's dogs, right? And I couldn't, every time I went past a store, I wanted to touch the dog. I wanted to have the dog acknowledge me in some way. So, and I wasn't really paying attention. I mean, drug addicts don't pay much attention to dogs. Unless they're Rottweilers or somebody, one of the dealers got these big beasts to protect them. But, so I think it was kind of an answer to how lonely I was in that period in my life, in this period of change, of going from that life to this life. I started really paying attention to these pets. Okay, when in the Castro, all these gay men, they had these beautiful exotic dogs, so many different kinds of dogs. It's an amazing things dogs are because they're so different. I mean, I guess they all came from the wolf, but there's so many different kinds. And obviously all these different, some of them, I guess they call them designer dogs, whatever. But I just got obsessed. I couldn't stop watching these animals. I was relating more to animals than I was to people. And I would get so excited when they would acknowledge me or give me some sugar or something. Anyway, so the seed was planted. In this situation, no one at that house had a pet. So I was gonna, not that I was gonna break the rules or challenge the rules, but I felt like I wanted to have a pet. So. Anyway, I had this idea of the perfect. There was a point in my 20s where my partner, I was with a lover then, and my partner, he liked dogs. So when we got together, he immediately said we need to get a dog. So we got a dog. His name was Bowie, and but it was basically his decision. I did grow to love the dog, but it was basically kind of his decision. He was the primary person with the dog. And then, but this point, this would be the first time trying to get a dog for myself. Anyway, so I had this idea of the perfect animal after seeing all these dogs around the Castro. And it was a Cocker Spaniel. I thought a Cocker Spaniel was the cutest of all dogs, those little furry paws. He's about the same size of him. See his face. Hi, Jimmy, say hello. Say, good morning. Hi, how you doing? What you got? You got some doggy treat? Anyway. So I had this idea of a Cocker Spaniel, right? And this is the dog I was planning to get. Although, unfortunately, it was very expensive. He saw the train. Excuse me. Get down, boy. Be quiet. When he sees the train, I got to cover his eyes. We live right over the Muni. Be quiet. Anyway, get back up there on the camera. Say good morning. Good morning. Hey, what you doing over there? Hi, how you doing in there? See your image? If you see his face, he's going to start barking at his own self. Anyway. So, All right, so I wanted to get this Cocker Spaniel. Uh, but right before I got Jimmy, I had this dream, right? And the dream was the Cocker Spaniel wasn't in the dream. What I remember from the dream was it was a Benji dog. So it was kind of a mangy looking little hairy beast like this one. And so I started making plans to get a dog. So I called this friend of mine one time and I told him about my desire to get this animal. And I was broke at the time. I was just getting out of the drug program. And so I was telling him I really want to get a dog. And he said, well, how much does the dog cost? And I said, well, I think they charge like $325 to get a dog even from the pound, because you have to get shots for him and you have to get certain things you have to do before they release him. And so he said, well, come and get it. Okay, I'll do that. So I went down there and met my friend. His name was Doug McLean on Market Street. We met at this little restaurant, and he gave me $325. And so then I called my other friend, another friend. We all are church queens in San Francisco. So we're all, I called my other friend. I was telling him, oh, Doug, give me the money to get a dog. I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get him. And he said, well, where are you? And I told him the corner I was at. I was at 6th and Market Street. He said, oh, that's funny. I'm at 6th and Market Street. So I look out the window. So right outside of the restaurant where the boy just gave me the money for the dog, here he is in a car, because he don't drive. A lot of people in San Francisco don't drive. It's not uncommon not to drive. But he had rented this car for some other reason, and he happened to be right outside. So we get in the car and we go to the SPCA. Right. As soon as we walk in the SPCA, this thing. See, Jimmy dog. He was right at the one of the first people. I think I had come through there when I started planning on getting the dog. I would pass through there and look at dogs, but I was never serious going to get one right then. So we went. When we walked up SPCA, one of the first dogs we saw was him. He was on the thing, you know. He was all happy and scratching at the thing and all this kind of stuff. I said, hey, that's the dog I saw. It was in my dream. A Benji dog. He looked like a Benji, right? And so I said, I don't know, Terry. I hate to be impulsive, but I think that's the one. So we go around. We look at all the other dogs. Every time we come back by him, he's back at the gate again. And he started dancing and all this kind of stuff, right? So I said, no, that's him. God has shown me a glimpse of that dog. I need to give myself a real, not a show dog, not a dog because I like the way he looks. I need a dog I can really relate to. And this dog had a lot of personality. And so I told the lady, okay, I want that dog. And then when he first came, he wouldn't eat. I kept trying to give him, they take you in a room and they you give him, this is at the Pound, not the SPCA. The Pound is right next door to it. They give you like dog treats to a friend, see if you guys get along, you and the dog, in a private room. He wouldn't take the treats, so I said, oh, okay, he don't like me. But what it was, he doesn't like the hard doggy treats. So when I got him home now, he eat me out of house at home now. So I'm gonna tell you one more thing about the dog. I could get ready for church, but so he didn't like the treats. He liked me and my friend Terry. So anyway, we got the dog. Okay, at the time at that house where I was living, there was a Catholic church a few doors down from us, right? Now I had never had my own dog, my own responsibility. I had a dog with my partner who fed him and took care of him basically, and I just fed him whatever he gave me to feed him. But he was a little puppy. This was 12 years ago. He looked about the same he does now. Jimmy is he's 12, 13 now. But when I got him, he was 1 year old. So he looked about, he was full grown, so he's about this size. Anyway, the ladies, the nuns, they came to our house. They said, oh, they had this huge event, and they have all this chicken left, right, from the event. They couldn't get rid of it. And they had pans and pans and pans. I said, well, we can't eat all that, but I guess some of the guys in there would eat it. But what I discovered was the dog loved chicken. And so I started giving him all this chicken. I gave him so much chicken until he got sick from chicken, right? And he was just a baby, fresh out the dog pound. Well, what happened was, after I gave him all that chicken, and the chicken must have lasted at least a week that I was giving him this stuff. Over a week, maybe 10 days, he was eating nothing but chicken, right? Well, after the chicken ran out, the dog refused to eat anything else. Now, I tried several different kinds of dog foods, different combinations of dog foods, wet, dry. The dog would not respond to anything except for chicken. So for the next 6 or 7 years, I've been here 6 or 7 years, I fed that dog chicken. Every day I had to go and I bought chicken breasts from Safeway. I would have to boil the chicken, boil the carrots, and I put a little cheese on top just to get his interest. It's the only way he would eat, right? And he ate that diet for 7, 8 years. And then everyone told me, you got to get him off of human food. He's got to be on kibble. He's got to be on, just for the sake of his body. There are things in the dog food that would help him, I guess, better than real chicken. I couldn't do it because he wouldn't enjoy it. And I felt like I was torturing him, but not giving him chicken. So he was a little bit spoiled at that point. At some point, the dog, not my decision. I wish it was my smartness. I figured out how to get him off the chicken on dog food. But he decided he no longer wanted to eat chicken. And he refused to eat chicken. So Jimmy made the decision to eat dog food. He's been on dog food ever since for the last 5 years. So anyway, that's a couple stories about my baby. Let me show you that little face again. Now his name is Jimmy Dog. He got a little thing on his mouth. It's you fall in love with these dogs, and then you worry so much about them, right? My greatest fear is that my dog will get sick because he is 13 years old now. But what was I saying? Oh, where his name came from. So that partner I was telling you about, Jimmy, who I had the other dog with, he got sick. He died from AIDS back in around 91. But he loved dogs. So I said, if I ever get a dog, his name will be Jimmy. So this is my Jimmy. Jimmy Jr. Okay, say goodbye, boy. Goodbye. Do that. Look at the camera, boy. He's not a movie star type dog. He's just a regular old dog. Okay, I hope that answers your question. And thank you for asking. I do love to talk about my little child. They're so important in your life as you get younger, especially as you get young. I notice all the guys my age, the gay guys around this neighborhood, they all have dogs. So they do become very, not meaning the women also, but people I'm paying attention to. Anyway, only thing about this dog is he doesn't give me any new boyfriends, because everyone always says, "Oh, you're gonna get new boyfriends because they're gonna want to talk to the dog, and then they'll start talking to you." It hasn't happened yet. Okay, bye bye. That was Jimmy.